Hello, welcome to part 6. Well underway with our first person shooter now. What's happening here? I've just got some issues. Turn those off. Cool. Absolutely fine, not worrying about that. So, welcome to part 6. We're trying to think what we did last time. I think we sorted out the menu and we got some other things sorted with. I can't know, I'm too sure. Doesn't matter, but it worked. Watch part 5 if you're unsure what we did. Cool, so we've got the UI in place. So what we need to do now is, at the moment, if we test our game, we've got not much of a game where we can go, I can then go and shoot this enemy. And as you can see at the bottom of the console it says hit enemy, but he's not running after us. So we need to provoke that enemy. So whenever he is hit, he is going to attack us, whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into our enemy AI script. Lovely jubbly. And so under update, let's create a new method. Let's call this public void, so it can be seen, public void on damage taken. Cool, so what's going to happen on damage taken? Well, we already know that if we get too close to our enemy, we have a ball variable called isProvoked, and that switches to true once we reach him. So let's say if we hit with damage in this method, we can say isProvoked equals true. Okay, so there's a little bit more implementation that we still need to do. So if we save that, we can then say, okay, our enemy is provoked, but that affects our enemy health, doesn't it? So once he's been hit. So what we need to say, if we pop over to enemy health here, and we can use our take damage float. So this is how our enemy gets hit. So in here, we're going to use something we could use. We could call up we could call a variable called enemy, and then we can say get component enemy AI, and then call up that specific method within get component. But the problem is with get component is that it is specifically calling up just that one method. So we can use something called, if I type this, broadcast message, okay, and that can just call up just a random method from anywhere. So we can say on take on damage, semicolon, easy as that. So this can be implemented anywhere within all of our scripts that we have at the moment. So instead of being so specific with get component and stuff like that, we can just use broadcast message. Okay, so if we use this on damage taken lots, I would probably then suggest using get component, because if we're more specific, then we're going to have less bugs. But at the moment, I just thought I'd show you broadcast message, and we can see of how versatile that is. So if we save this script, make sure we go over to our enemy AI script as well and save that script. Let's go back into Unity, let this compile. Press play on our game. And if we switch it over, so hopefully if we shoot our enemy, he should, there we go, he's attacking, he's coming to attack us. Lovely, fantastic. So I'm going to start to run away from him. And then we can see that he is chasing us. Lovely, brilliant. Exactly what we wanted. Cool, is he floating? No, that was good. Cool, I'm dead. Lovely. So what we can do, now that is done and dusted, we can really kind of refine and finely tune our prototype game. So with the prototype I've got here at the moment, maybe I should be adding more enemies, maybe I should be fine-tuning the speed movement, making sure the hit points for each player and enemy works well as the damage dealt, and then looking at the attack radius for the enemy as well. Is it too far out? Should it be too close? So these are kind of things that you should be thinking about when prototyping your game. Cool, so once we've done all that and finely tuned our game, we can have a look at a weapon zoom. So I know this is quite popular in lots of games with sniper rifles and things like that. So what we can do is that we are going to use, so if we look at our player here, we can go to main camera. If we look at main camera, we can use something called field of view. And currently it's 660, but if we move it left or right, we can see even within our game view that we can transition between. So I think I originally had it at, I think it was 60. So what if I put it down to 30? Would that seem like a zoom in? So let's go to 30. So that looks quite cool. So maybe we could just code that, and maybe if it doesn't work for me a bit later, we can sort that out. So let's change that back to 60. So we know that we need to call up our camera within our new script and call up a field of view. Okay, so this should be pretty simple and pretty easy to work out. So this is like a sniper site, isn't it? So let's create a new script. And let's call this, I don't want to call it field of view. So or I think site view, zoom site. Yeah, maybe zoom site. Let's try that. Cool, lovely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to implement this onto the player as well. So it work for all of our weapons when we change over weapons, and it will work for even if our player doesn't have a weapon. So we can always almost like zoom in and have a look. So we're going to add the zoom site to, let's close that up a little bit, and add, where is it? Zoom site to our player, and then we just double click on the script. Lovely, lovely, there we go, mono behavior kicking in there. So what do we need to do? What can we use as a zoom site? So we know we need our camera, so that's the first thing we need to say, don't we? We need to say that we can say private camera, and we can call this player cam. So that's our player camera, lovely. We then can say we need something for our zooming in and zooming out. So we know our zoom out was that field of view of 60. Oh, I just realised, there we go, player. So let's say private float, and we can call this zoom out, or normal view maybe, zoom out equals 60f. And then we can have another private float for zoom in, and it looked quite good at 30, didn't it? So I halved that number. Lovely. So what we're going to quickly do as well, let's make sure we can change all of this within our inspector and serialize the fields. Lovely jubbly, lovely jubbly, lovely jubbly, fantastic, cool. So we've got our variables sorted out. We know we've got our camera, that's where we're going to grab our field of view. We've then got these that zoom in and zoom outs, which we can toggle between. So, but how are we going to toggle between them? Well, we could write a load of if and else statements, but that means that if we kind of switch between them, between if and else statements, that means we can't control it. It's only if one is the other. So let's create a bool as well. So let's create a private bool, and let's call this zoom toggle. And we can just leave that as that for now, because all balls start off as false. Okay, so that there is exactly the same as false, just like that. Cool. I might just leave it like that so we can understand what's happening. Okay, so once we've got this, we can have a look in update, because we want it to be free flowing and not have any kind of lag or anything like that. So update's the quickest place we can put our code into. So let's say if input dot get, we say mouse down, get mouse button down, get mouse button, oh, let's get mouse button down, there we go. And then if we say 1, that represents right click. Okay, so we're going to right click to do, so you can change this, is entirely up to you if you want to change your zoom site into something else. So if input.get mouse button down 1, which is our right click, we can then say if our zoom toggle is equals to false, well, we then know that zoom toggle can equal true because we've pressed the button, and then we know that our player camera dot field of view, there we go, is then equal to zoom in. Okay, cool. So what if we haven't pressed that button? What if we haven't right clicked? Well, what's going to happen is zoom toggle will equal false because we haven't pressed that button yet, and then player camera dot field of view will equal to the zoom out position, so our original position of 60 f as a float. Cool, lovely, and it is as simple as that. So let's save this script, go back into Unity. Lovely, fantastic. What I'm going to make sure is that my console is completely clear, and then if I press play, there we go, and then what I'm going to do is target my enemy. There we go, get right on him as a target, like a headshot, right click. Ooh, oh, there we go, we've got an issue. So it says the variable player cam of zoom site has not been assigned, and Unity is 100% correct. So if we look at our zoom site down here, we can see that it's looking for the player camera, and there it is. We need that main camera in there, so let's drag that main camera into there, quickly save our game, clear that console because we've now fixed the error, press play, and let's sneak up to our player, to our enemy, right click, there we go, we've zoomed in and we can shoot him right in the head, and then we've still got that nice clear enemy shot. Fantastic, brilliant. So save that. So we're starting to get a really nice weapon system, but at the moment, if we finally tuned our game like I said you should earlier, and you've added, like, let's say 10 or 15 enemies to this prototype level, we've got unlimited bullets. So let's create let's create an ammo system. Okay, cool. So let's let's right click, create C# script, and let's call this let's call this ammo for now. Ammo or ammo system. Are we going to need anything else called ammo? Well, I suppose we could give them other words, so let's call that ammo. Cool. And again, I'm not going to attach this to my weapons, because then I'd have to, each time I add a new weapon, I then have to add this script and then fiddle around with this script as well, because of different bullets. What I'm going to do is we'll probably add this to the player for now, and then if we do have it, it gets a bit more technical later, we can add that in. So what I'm going to do for now is just add ammo to our player. Cool, so let's add another component. Let's just type in ammo. There we go, let's add that ammo script. Brilliant. Cool. So let's have a look. Added it. So let's open this script and see what it says. Cool. So with our ammo, we need, if we start, oh, here we go. Classic Unity, not classic Visual Studio, not talking to each other. So let's come out of that. What I'm going to do is close Visual Studio, and then we'll reopen it, because sometimes this happens. So let's double click on ammo. Let's wait for that to load up again, and hopefully that will fix the issue. Let's force quit Visual Studio. There we go. Let's double click onto that and see if we can get this ammo system sorted. Load up. Come on, runner behavior, talk to me. That's good, lovely. Okay, so at the moment, all we need to worry about is how much ammo do we have. So let's create a bit of a challenge. So if you've got 15 enemies within your game, let's say 10 ammo, and you have to avoid them and then reach this kind of goal or something like that. So let's say private integer, because we don't want We obviously don't want float bullets. We don't want 0.6 of a bullet. And let's call this ammo amount. And let's just equal that to 10. Nice and easy. Let's serialize that field in case we want to change it over. Come on, speak to me. There we go. Cool. And then we are going to create. Let's create. So I'm going to leave start and update there for the moment, and then I'm going to create another 2 variables. So we're going to not 2 variables. Apologies, 2 methods. So we've got a public integer method of get current ammo. So this will tell us how much ammo we've got, but more precisely tell us when we've run out of ammo. Okay, so that's really, really important. And then we are going to have public void reduce current ammo. Cool, so this will take our ammo away. So in an integer, this has got a red line at the moment because we haven't returned it. So with a number, that number needs to be returned. So what we're going to say is just return ammo amount. Lovely jubbly, that's nice and nice. And how will we reduce our ammo from 10? Well, all we're going to do is ammo amount minus minus, and that will apply as 1. So we're minusing 1 every time we shoot. So we can save that script, but that's not all, because obviously our ammo is interacting with our weapon, isn't it? So what we need to do is go click onto weapon and have a look at our private void shoot. And here we need to add in actually first let's add in, instead of, I just thought of an easier way of doing this actually. So what we're going to do is we're going to call up the script from the ammo script from weapon. So what we're going to say is that we can say private ammo, that should pop up, there we go, there's that script, and then we can just call this ammo slot, because that's the slot for where the ammo is going to go. And what we're going to do is serialize that field as well, so we can see it within our inspector, so we can sync that up afterwards in the inspector. So in shoot, what we're going to say is we need to say ammo slot dot reduce current ammo, and we're now allowed to do this reduce current ammo. We're allowed to pick up this method because we have named this method here. We've named the script here, and what we're going to say is, well, because that's a method, we're going to call that up. So every time we're going to reduce the ammo every time we shoot. Okay, and we know that our script, how does it know to reduce it? Well, we've said, you know, ammo slot is ammo amount is already representing to 10. Okay, so these 2 scripts are going to speak to each other. So this is only if we shoot. Okay, so we need to put all this into some if casing. So let's put that there. Let's say if ammo slot dot get current ammo, there it is, get current ammo is less than 0. So if our current ammo is less than 0, let's take this, cut and paste into there. Lovely jubbly. What we're going to do is save that. Once that's saved, we are going to click onto our player, and we can see that within our script, where's our ammo? Oh no, it's in our weapon, apologies. So we go to main camera, go to weapons, go to gun. We can see here, ammo slot, it says none. So where is our ammo? Where is our ammo script? Well, our ammo script's in our player, isn't it? So let's drag our player into there. There we go, fantastic. So that's why we've dragged that in. Awesome. So if I click on my player, we can now see that I've got the ammo amount of 10, and hopefully when I press play on my game and start to shoot, I will run out of ammo. There we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Fantastic. And then I can't actually click anymore, and then even the animations won't play. So fantastic, we've now sorted out an ammo system. Awesome, hope you've enjoyed this nice, well, kind of quick tutorial, just gone over 20 minutes. But we've now got pretty much implementing, getting into the thick of it with our weapon system. Awesome. I will see you very soon.